Yes.
And we're live. Sarah,
Hey.
on the podcast with Les Saint-Jean beer, amber beer. I have no idea how this is going to be. I don't think you do either, but I say fuck it. Let's just get right into it. So, you've been meaning to come on the podcast for a while. We finally got it done last second. How does it feel?
It feels good. I feel very famous.
with all of my like 10 followers.
I was gonna say.
You got to start somewhere though. Okay.
Generous.
You know what I just found out recently? That I've been pouring beer wrong my whole life. So you know how you're supposed to tilt it and pour usually? Yeah. I found that's why people's stomach hurts so bad. When it doesn't bubble like this and it doesn't fizz up like this, that's why your stomach hurts when you drink beer. Because in the guy, like I saw a video about it, he put like not a plunger, but like a sponge type thing in it. Like when you pour it like the way I just did versus when you pour it like tilting it sideways. And you can see, like, it fizzes up completely when you tilt it sideways. That's why I've been pouring it like this. So I didn't mean to fuck it up, but, like, this is actually...
so weird.
Right? Isn't it, like completely the opposite way I thought of, like, how...
Like, taste-wise, that makes sense, but...
Yeah, taste-wise,
actually...
but, I mean, it says, like, it's supposed to have... Beer is supposed to have fun, but I've been pouring it wrong, like, so it's a really hard habit, and these are hard as shit to pour.
So how many people have you sent to the hospital so far? Sorry. I guess...
No, please. Oh my god, I have no idea how this is gonna... Oh, cheers. That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah. It's kind of mild.
It's like a sweet, the aftertaste is a bit shocking.
It's like sweet oats.
Yeah. Fuck it, though. I don't mind it. So, anyway, you're in the process of moving, huh? The rents are moving here?
Yeah, the rents are moving here in a year. Thank you.
You excited?
Yeah, I'm excited.
That's so dope. Like, they're moving to... What area did you say they're moving into?
So they're moving into either the 13th or the 15th. They're not sure yet. It's
okay.
going to depend on what apartment they can get.
Moving is such a fucking nightmare.
It is. Yeah.
Honestly.
And we're downsizing. So we're downsizing from 3 floors and a full unfinished but stocked with shit basement. And... going to downsize to a 3-bedroom Parisian apartment. I moved this summer, and we had this house for 23 years. This was my childhood home, and we moved this summer. And I missed the good chunk of work because I was at school, but my parents were working literally nonstop all day, every day on this fucking house for 3 months straight to get it on the market in time. It's such and like it was really good for me psychologically to witness that this summer because we had so like I think the average American household, they said like an average size family has like 400,000 items in a house. We had 23 years of shit packed in this house, and we had to get it all out within like when I got there. That's when we did the really like the hard moving. We actually moved to an apartment that's just across the street, so it wasn't that big of a drive. But I made over 150 trips like with my car packed to the brim with stuff. It's such a nightmare to move, honestly. Like I'm really glad I'm not gonna be. I'm going to be in school. Yeah. They're moving in January. So
oh, okay. So you'll have an excuse not be fully in. Yeah.
And we're not moving over Christmas. We're waiting till my brother has his first semester in school.
That would suck, yeah.
Can come back for Christmas to Boston, and then they'll move.
Is that where you were born? You were born in Boston?
No, I was born here.
No shit. Oh, that's right. That's... every time I stop asking people this question because it's always like even myself like it's complicated. Like I'm half French, half American, but I was born in Texas, but like my family's from here, and after a while people just like start nodding, and you know when they like smile but you're not listening, you're like what the fuck is this kid talking about? Like that's usually how it ends up going with when I ask people where they're from.
Classic AUP.
Oh my god, yeah. Well, and actually it was actually really because I was always in high school, I was always that kid that was like, oh, he speaks French. But now it's like everyone I know speaks like 8 languages. And it's good to be like kind of at the bottom of the barrel again in terms of like especially travel is the one where I thought I was well traveled until I meet some of these kids at AEP that like have these, you know, I went to Bali for, you know, I went to. So they're like, I have a villa in Bali, and they're da-da-da, like, so it's kind of nice to meet people that are a lot, you know, more well-traveled than you are.
Even on small trips, like people go to the weekend.
Oh my god, yeah, it's crazy.
I don't do that.
I should more. I really should. And
when I'm in Rome, we only have 4-day weeks. Yeah, so I'm gonna.
Oh fuck! You're doing that stuff. Oh my god.
Yeah, so that's another move that I have to do.
Yeah.
Which means I think what I'm gonna do is I have 2 big suitcases. I'm gonna bring them both back to Boston over Christmas. dump all the shit I'm not gonna use in Rome and keep the bare minimum, like
shirts. Exactly. I did a huge purge of my closet, so I literally have like 3 sweaters, and probably people are sick of seeing them because I like do them like in rotation.
Yeah.
People are just so sick of the clothes I'm wearing, but like I just like my closet. I mean, like you can't see it on camera, but my closet's right there. It's pretty empty, honestly. Yeah. There's not a whole lot going on there, which I like. Like I actually have a lot of stuff on the in the basement, but it's not like. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you have a fucking trapdoor.
Right,
sorry,
like
swearing.
No, yeah, absolutely swear away. I don't give a shit. But like, yeah, I for people who I have a cave, like a dungeon type deal, and I have a lot of stuff down there. But having not a lot of stuff is so sick, actually.
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to move like houses in like 2 suitcases. Like I hate like all the like this shit. Like I used to have so much stuff in my closet. It pisses now. Like it makes me so angry to look at like my closets and see stuff that I don't even wear. So I guess it's good to purge out your stuff every once in a while.
With my church, we went to Honduras for these service trips. I guess we call them mission trips. We didn't try to convert anyone, so it wasn't a mission trip. It was a service trip. And we went to this place called El Hogar, which for those people watching and for you, it's a really, really great cause. And if you ever can donate, please do. It's a school/orphanage. So kids, very impoverished kids and orphans from Honduras go to these different schools, and they're given room and board
that's dope,
and an education, a good education. So, and it lasts, you can go in anywhere from like 5 or 6 or younger up to high school, and you get a high school education. You get the tools that you need to go out and build a future, and it's changed lives so dramatically. I mean,
that's so amazing. Sick, actually.
Yeah. So, and these kids have nothing, but they are the happiest people.
That's
in the world.
It's so okay. So I go to Haiti every year. I haven't been able to since I've been at AP, which pisses me off. But I go as much as possible. I used to go with my old school, but now after I graduate, because it's like in the middle of March, and it's like I can't. I have to be gone for at least 2 weeks. I mean, with the whole. The trip is like 8 days or something like that, and then the travel. So I'll be gone pretty much for 2 weeks, and that's hard to pull off in March. But it's so and we did something called Forward in Health. So it was like we were doing medical work, and I wasn't very well versed in the medical, so I just hung out with the kids, and like that was my job, was to keep the kids. That's what we did too. Yeah, just to keep the kids entertained, and I would always like organize the soccer games, and I've never had more fun on that. Like, and I was walking around in flip flops and like shirtless and like like wearing bandanas and like stuff just to like protect me from the sweat. Oh my god, it was but I had never had that like much fun. And the kids, it's really amazing to see the kids that are like that literally have to walk, like it's unbelievable, like to burn their trash because they have nowhere to put it, like but these kids are so happy, and it's a mind fuck actually. Like when you leave there, everything feels like it's a complete different, but I guess poverty is the same everywhere, but like Haiti in particular is gorgeous. Like the actual like
it's beautiful. It's so peaceful.
Yeah, but there's just so much poverty going on that it's kind of but yeah, shout out to the Haiti squad. We had so much fun. And
my Honduras
squad. we had it really good in Haiti. We had a house like a 3-story house with the rooftop was the coolest part, and like there's nothing going on there, so you see the star, like we sleep on the roof and like you see the stars perfectly. Great. It's so cool. But yeah, it's so funny how like people. And I used to be in this boat for a while, so I can't really talk. But like a lot of people think that like acquiring stuff makes you happy. It gives you like pleasure. Like, but I've never like bought anything that in the long term has been like made me happy. If that makes sense. It's always stuff like doing.
It's always from your heart and mind.
It's always doing like karaoke or doing like fun shit like that, or going to Haiti. Like that is I remember far more than buying like an Xbox or a computer or anything.
And when I came home from Honduras, I like had a breakdown because my room was filled with stuff.
Yeah. And you feel really guilty about it.
And I'm kind of a pack rat.
Oh, really?
I'm not so much anymore. I'm getting better, but I was. So I just was like, I don't need any of this, but what do I do with it too?
Exactly. Yeah. I donated a lot of mine. Like I had so many clothes. Because when I went to boarding school in Boston, I kind of went on like a splurge of I bought a whole bunch of stuff because for the first time ever I needed like a dress code. And I mean I had like dress code, but it was just like slacks and a polo shirt at my school back in Dallas. But when I went to boarding school, I had to wear suits, and that was kind of my chance to like be a little flashy with the clothes, and that's what I needed at the time. I needed to kind of stand out a bit and peacock a little bit, but like now it's just like I wear. just super normal stuff. But like it is but it's trips like that like really, I mean, they change your life actually, to see these kids. Yeah, 100%. and the just the interaction, like and I speak a little bit of French. I mean, I'm not a little bit, I'm fluent, but like I can understand Creole. I can like get my point across. But even like people that didn't speak any French or any Creole, like just like the interaction is more pure than like anything I've witnessed, even with people like that speak the same language. Yeah. It's really really interesting.
Yeah, I spoke very little Spanish, but we would like write the Spanish word and the English word and draw it, and then I would watch.
Or sometimes all you need to do is crack a smile with these kids.
That's all. Yeah,
you just crack a smile.
We played board games 24/7. We played soccer. Yeah. We danced. They held a dance for us, which was the sweetest thing.
That's so funny.
So we all like brought a nice skirt and something. And,
that's really.
It was most of us. I think. Yeah, one trip we had 1 or 2 guys on the trip, but other than that, it was girls, like 7 or 8 girls.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And we went to the farm school, which is one of the schools of El Hogar, and it's all boys.
Yeah.
You know, ages 13 to 20 something.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so
gotcha,
to have 8 girls there was kind of like, oh my god.
Yeah, a little bizarre.
So we were all dancing with them all night, and it was great.
That's so fun. I really wish I could go back, because that's stuff I would love to do. I mean, full time would be. I've got other stuff that I want to do. I mean, like, because I'm still young. There's a lot of shit I want to do, but I could easily see myself, like, after I've made a career, like, doing something I really love, just to, like, I don't really... Okay, I want to get your thoughts on this. I don't ever want to retire. Everyone's like grind until you're 40 and then retire. That sounds like a fucking nightmare to me. Like, sitting around doing nothing all day.
I know.
Like, that's... Like, I literally couldn't do that, but, like, I could see...
My grandpa does the crossword and walks the dog 6 times a day. Oh. Which is great.
Shout out to the grandpa, but, like, that's not me. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. I really couldn't.
And he's had such a busy life. He's lived everywhere. He was an engineer. He was at Columbia. Like.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure after a while, though, like, all that... Like, I want to... Like, especially in my 20s, I don't want to ever look back at my 20s and be like, oh, I wish I did this. I wish... Like, this is kind of my years to just... Yeah. We don't really have any rules. I mean, like, rules is maybe the wrong word, but, like, requirements, like... So that's my goal in my 20s. Mm-hmm. But, like, retire when you're 40, sounds like a nightmare to me. I would want to do something that I could do, like, forever. And then if worse comes to worse, I could just fuck off and do these, and do these service trips. And that's, like... I want to do van life. Have you heard of van life?
No.
So basically, you buy out a Sprinter van, like those like Mercedes Sprinter vans, that like the white ones. So basically, what a lot of people are doing, and what I'm probably gonna do after college is, so you buy a Sprinter van and you strip it out, and you build a bed in the back, and you build a kitchen, and you just live out of your van. Yeah. So basically, you can like wake up at the beach, or wake up at like you can go on the snow-capped mountains. You could literally go, and you have to pay for rent. The only thing you have to pay for is actually fixing up the van, and then gas and cell phone, and that's really it. And like your carbon footprint is literally zero. Yeah. Especially if you have like a diesel engine. So I mean, I'm not really someone that gets like super intense with the whole carbon footprint thing, but that is a bonus. But that's something I can easily see myself doing. But like, I'm not really interested in like, because I used to be like want to make a lot of money, and weirdly enough, I know I'm gonna make a lot of money someday, but it's just I'm gonna do it like doing something I really like to do, not like chasing the dollars. That's no moss for me. I said boss to like.
My priority is to enjoy what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're here for a good time, not a long time. So you might as well do something that you like well. But like that is a weird thing. Like people expect those things to bring them, and I see it all the time. And it just doesn't that doesn't really make you any happier. It really does. I mean, like it gets you some oohs and ahs from the crowd, but like besides that, and then you kind of go home and you're just like.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess when you hype something like that up in your head so much, I mean, it's the same with people. It's the same with, like, I don't know, a concert, a game. Like, when you hype it up so much in your head to when it actually gets there, you're kind of like...
Oh, great.
Yeah, now back to the drawing board, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, speaking of doing shit, you just wrote a book. Yeah. Tell us about your book.
So, first draft. It's 40... I don't know if I should tell this story or not, because it's really embarrassing.
Fuck it, for it.
I'll tell it. It's not that embarrassing. It's almost 50,000 words.
Wow.
In the first draft, I made a typo and wrote 500,000 words. So my mom got it and she was like, "What?"
Oh my god.
So yeah, 50,000 words, which
so how many
about
pages is that?
90-ish, and
that's a solid.
It's a small novel.
So how did you get the idea to start? Like, how did you come up with the idea? How did you start? Did you just say?
So the seed kind of comes from way back. Mm-hmm. One of my best friends, Lucy, and I, in sophomore year or freshman year of high school, we started this language and this world. So we took our names, Lucy, Sarah, and Evelyn, another friend of ours. Yeah. And from that we created, we broke them down and assigned meaning to them. Luc means language or to speak. SAR means elder, kind of capital E elder. Evel means wisdom. So Lucad, ad meaning language of the people. So Lucad is language of the people. Sarabel is the kind of head mother goddess,
which is her Instagram name, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, you learn all my secrets.
Just a quick. I see all the photo dumps, so just a quick little plug. Go follow on Instagram.
Thanks. So it's like if you think about it that way, it's like so egotistical to name myself after a goddess who's named after me.
Fuck it.
Yeah. So she's elder wisdom is what her name means, and each god or goddess has Evel in their name, which is the wisdom of something. So Ro Evel, Ro means sky or air, so wisdom of the air or sky. Okay. Which is what she's the goddess of, obviously. So this is all in Sardor, which is the continent, I guess, that we created. Yeah. It's just kind of on its own. It's not on Earth or anything. Okay, yeah. And it has... Basically, each god has a territory. Okay. The gods are real in this world, which is something that's really fun to play with. Yeah. And there are all these whole long histories and mythologies, and the language is really big.
So do you cover all like the backgrounds of the gods in the book? Like, is that something that you cover in the book?
No, but one of the main character is from Rodor, which is one of the countries in Sardor. Gotcha. And for the book, I kind of just plopped it onto Earth. About a 7-hour flight from... Actually, it doesn't... I don't think I specify anymore, but a 7-hour flight from Boston. Okay.
So yeah. Well, that's kind of cool. It's open interpretation. It could be like... It'd be like cool to put like a compass on like the how long a 7-hour flight would be, and then like just do like a radius of like the... Yeah. Like that'd be fun. That'd be fun as well.
I think in one point she talks to someone on the phone in Rodor, and it's night there, and in the middle of the night there, and evening where she is, which is Ohio. So it's like Eastern Europe-ish. Okay. But yes.
It would be cool if you like drop these like Easter eggs, like hinting like where it's at, like maybe even give like different like places that like this place could be. Yeah. That'd be really... So how did you go? So that's how you came up with the idea.
Yeah. So that's kind of the first seed. Yeah. And then, I wrote for my fiction writing class here. One of my fiction writing classes here. I wrote a 500-word story about these two roommates in college. One was from the States, and one was from Rodor. Yeah. And the one from the States visits the one from
Rodor. So just for people watching, I knew about the roommate part. I didn't know about like this whole... So like when you started telling the story, I was like... I had no idea. I knew. Okay, now it makes sense. I was waiting for the roommate part because I was like, maybe this is a different project you're working on, but I remember the roommate part.
So one roommate, Besamiro, is whose name means belonging to thunder, which is the title of the book so far. Is from Rodor, and then Kara, her roommate, is from the States. And Kara has grown up kind of all over the place. She's had a shitty life a little bit. Her mom isn't in the picture. Her dad she's basically grown up in the car and in motel rooms. And when she was a teenager, she got, for a number of really fucked up reasons with her dad, she got dropped off at a family friend's house. And that's Oss. Her dad is John. Yeah. And Oss is the family friend. She calls him Uncle Oss, and he is amazing. Yeah. He took her in. He's like her dad. He gave her the security, the self-confidence, everything she needed. Yeah. And now she's going off to college. So it's a huge step for her in terms of independence, in terms of being able to choose her life.
For the first time probably.
Yeah, exactly. And being on her own again. Yeah. So that's Kara's story. And then Bessa is actually... It gets more complicated.
Yeah, I'm just going to close this door because the dog's coming in. Go on.
So Bessa is... Rodor, the country she's from, is a monarchy. And their closest ally is Sotanador, which is also a monarchy. Okay. And Sotanador and Rodor are the two most powerful, arguably the two most powerful countries in Sardor, the continent. So Sotanador has an island, or an archipelago, whatever it's called, of islands called Doriad. Okay. And Doriad is revolting, basically, to form a democracy.
Oh, okay.
There are a lot of different factors in that. It's complicated politically, religiously, but basically Rodor is backing Sotanador, and all the other countries are staying out of it. So Doriath is like this little hero fighting by itself. And it's gotten violent, and there have been threats against Rodor. Bessa's parents are basically the secretaries of state for Rodor. So there have been death threats against their family. It's gotten to the point where Bessa and her brother have to be sent away for security until it kind of blows over. So that's why she's in college. She's in college in Ohio with Kara under a fake name. So that's a whole other issue, because in Rodor, names are very, very important. You actually choose one of your names.
Oh, wow.
So she chose to be called Bessamiro. So, yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, and it's really so much fun.
Oh, yeah, I'm
write.
Sure. Yeah.
It's now being edited by Jeff Green, who is wonderful. And I'm not writing right now because I've told myself I have to not, I can't edit little by little. I want to see the full picture.
Yeah, okay,
and then go
yeah,
back.
for sure.
And I miss them so much.
Yeah. So how long has it taken you to write these 90 pages? I mean, I'm sure it's taken like countless hours on your thinking on your own.
A year.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. And there have been spurts of a lot of writing and then not writing for a month and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay.
On the plane home, I finished it. Plane back to Boston this summer, I finished it. I wrote the last 6,000
Well, I'm sure, but it's been on your mind for a while. I'm sure, because that's a super intricate.
I'm always thinking about it.
Exactly. Yeah. That's one of the reasons I'm really getting into film right now, is because people just kind of see the surface level, when people read your book, they'll see the surface level, like they might assume it's taking you X amount of hours to write that, rather, but like in your head you play it out for months and months, and like coming up with the backstory, and that's why I'm really getting. And one thing I found out is that I've been kind of writing and directing my whole life almost. Like I was always the kid with a video camera, and I would always do little. Remember when Vine was a thing? Yeah, I was always doing Vines, and I was always directing and writing and coming up with stories in my head. And I don't know why it just clicked these last few months that film was probably something I should look into, because I love film and I love telling stories. I love to me, a character, whether it be in a story or just someone with personality, is so fascinating to me. Like I love characters in movies where you're like, who the hell is this guy, or a girl, like what. Like we really have to dive deep into who they are as a person. That's why I love. I mean, people that know me are sick of me talking about this, but the Joker in Batman is my favorite character, in anything.
Yeah, he's such an interesting villain because
it's
fucking love him.
You know what's so fucked up though is despite all the awful things he does, he's still I like him a lot more than I do Batman. Not even close.
Oh yeah, agreed.
He's the most fascinating character, period, in my opinion, because one, you don't know his name, you don't know where he comes from, he's just kind of there, which is pretty scary when you that to me is a lot more terrifying than someone who's has a deep rooted background when you don't know. And one of the things I love about especially the comic book character is he always says stuff like, if I'm gonna have a past, I'd prefer it to be multiple choice. He doesn't really know where he came from, and that's why it's so fast. So, if I pursue acting, I will play the Joker. I mean, it's over. If I. So
the film thing, is it acting? Is it directing? Is it writing?
It's everything. It's literally everything. Cool. Well, actually, when I was younger, I was looking at film school because my mom knew that me in the classroom don't get along. It's mutual. It hates me. I hate it. It's mutual. But so we were looking. My mom was like, "You should look into film school," and I mean that was an idea for a little bit, but it kind of tapered off, but. I've always been right, and now I need to, my thing now is I just need to get stuff on paper, because my mind runs at 150 miles an hour, and I have so many good ideas that if I just got them on paper and really went with it, that's where I could do some cool things, I think. So that's for me the struggle is just getting on a paper, but yeah, I'm interested.
I take notes on my phone. I have so many notes about
everything. Yeah, I started doing that because of you, actually, because you showed me in Italy all these conversations that you would have with your friends, and yeah.
I have. Which is so for people watching, I have a list. Some of you may know this. I have a list of silly, stupid things people have said. Me, my friends, my family, things I overhear on the street.
Yeah.
And it's just so much fun.
Well, to go back and anything can become a story, and even just a little quote or someone's reaction to something, you can build that off and turn it into a story. So I love, and I'm actually doing improv soon. Your recommendation.
I did improv right here.
Yeah. So I'm doing. I think I'm gonna love it. But So I think I've always been into it, but it's weird. These last few months I really realized, and it ties in really well, and I'm obsessed with psychology. That's probably my main obsession. That's really all I do and all I think, like that's all I care about really is psychology. But I love how it ties into film because I think everything is psychology. I mean, like literally anything you do, whether it's painting, sports, film, like whatever it may be, business, it's all psychology. It's all about the way you think. So that'll always be number one. But film is, it goes hand in hand with that. Yeah. But for me, it's acting, it's directing, it's the thing I'm probably most excited for is all of them actually. I just want to get involved. I just want to do it. And actually, my friend Max McKenzie, shout out to Max McKenzie. He's a full-time actor now, and he's younger than me, so he just kind of went for it. And he's the homie. I talked to him and he said that like drama school probably wouldn't be for me because I'm someone, and I don't know how you are when it comes to this, but like if I think too much, that's when shit hits the fan. Like I do my best when things are just like flowing naturally, and if I learn too many of these techniques and like I'll get a little too in my head about it, and then I wouldn't be able to perform like on screen or in a play or something like that. So I think I should just show up and just do it and just kind of get out of my comfort zone and just go for it. But yeah,
that's what I feel about writing. I think in terms of technique versus natural talent or natural whatever, it's good to know the techniques because that will shape the way that you do things naturally. Yeah. So I've seen that in my writing. I've been writing all my life. And obviously my third grade stuff is shit. But and I've started so many books. But now that I've been studying creative writing, that's my major, and I'm really looking at how things are structured and how they're made and how tone affects things, that comes out in my natural writing. So I will, a lot of the times what I do is sit and I'll write 3 pages at a time and just write it and it'll all come out. Yeah. And sometimes there's very little editing I have to do. Sometimes there's a lot of editing. Yeah. But because I know now what to do, it all comes out naturally.
I find whenever I'm building a character or like a version of an interpretation, I've already written my Joker character. I have probably
you're all set.
Yeah, I have probably like 20 pages. I mean, just of like the first. One of the things I was talking to my friend, I don't know if you know Judd, but like he's a good shout out to Judd, a really good friend of mine. He was working on houses this summer, and he said he got really into he was doing construction. And he was talking about like the different so first thing you need is the plan, then you need the foundation, and like as he was explaining, I was like, that's just like building a character or building a story. You need the overall idea of what you're trying to like the themes, the points, and then you have the foundation, then you have the accessory, and like there's so much stuff that goes into it like that people don't even see, which I really like the process of creating that. But like for me, it's like I put when I focus on something, I put so much attention to it, and like every single detail has to be like perfect, and that's what I love about writing and like building these characters, because I've got everything nailed down from the way they're gonna look, what they wear, how they react to certain situations. Like I just get obsessed with these with these characters. And actually, funny enough, you're mentioning gods. I'm working on for my screenplay class. Well, I would probably be working on it anyways, but I'm working on a Western film, and it's more or less like. It's a little too familiar to the Joker. I find sometimes where it's like
I have that problem. Characters from TV shows definitely bleed into.
Yeah, exactly. Or the Usual Suspects with Kaiser Soze being like this like person that no one really knows if he's real or not. But I'm trying to find a way to play off like Kek. I don't know would be the name, but like the guy's like street name would be something including Kek, because that in Egyptian that's the god of primordial darkness. So just like pure. Just like evil, and that these are really. I don't know how they're never get in. I guess we left the hatch open a little too long. I guess fuck it, we'll just have to deal with it. I mean, they're not really harming. It is. Should I try to snatch one up?
Oh, I touched it.
They're fruit.
We'll find it.
Yeah. Anyway, but so that's kind of what I'm working on. But I love the attention to detail that goes into storytelling, and because that's what differentiates a good story from a bad story is like how much detail you put into like the.
I find though that sometimes, I mean, actually most of the time, it never comes. Yeah, I'm good for now. Thanks. Things never come when you want them to. So I never or rarely start with a foundation.
Really?
Yeah, it comes in as pieces of dialogue. Yeah. And it comes in as ways people would react to things or whatever, and it builds from there. Yeah. So the first draft I had of this novel, the first kind of big draft, this is on draft like 10 at least, Bessa wasn't escaping anything. She was just going to college.
Yeah.
But then she was so angry to be there. She didn't want to be there at all.
You need that's when you went back.
That was not
me.
me.
Okay.
That's another thing we can talk about. But yeah, so I was like, there has to be a reason for this to happen. There has to be.
Or you find out later in the story, but there has to be a reason. There has to be a reason.
Yeah. And actually, it's really cool. I had the conversation that I had with my dad where we kind of figured out that she should be a political asylum seeker, I guess. I have it recorded.
No shit.
Yeah. Because I knew we were like hiking with my dog, and I was like, all right, I knew I have to.
Yeah, you have to.
I have to register this because
there's some stuff like that. Like, actually, I like the my version and my interpretation of the Joker. It came out in half an hour.
Yeah.
Like I really.
Sometimes characters just come. I really believe they live in you.
Yeah.
I've had
Yeah.
So I have a story about this short story I wrote, 20 pages long, called like Staring Down a Snowman, and it's about these two characters. Mark and Sarah, and I'll get to that name in a second. And it's about their relationship, their marriage, throughout the years. But it's told in little scenes, in the kind of moments between the big arguments where they're arguing about something, but it's not actually about that.
Okay, yeah.
And kind of the quiet moments, and you didn't do the dishes last night, and you end up arguing about the dishes, but it's not about the dishes.
No, it's really
about
not.
The divorce.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and it's told backwards.
Okay.
So it's told from the last time they meet by accident in a coffee shop to the first time they meet in a coffee shop.
Oh, no.
And it's not on a coffee shop, but yeah.
Yeah.
So first of all, I tried so hard to give Sarah a different name, spelled the same way as mine. I tried like 10 different names at least, and none of them fit. Even after I had written the whole thing, I was like, I'll just find all the Sarahs and replace them with Laura or something.
Yeah.
It was not the same story.
It
was really weird. And then in a scene, I was trying to write a scene where Mark proposes to Sarah. And he came in, and I swear, I don't know what happened. He was there because he came in, they were looking at this new house they were going to get. And they went to the bathroom, and this tile in the bathroom was like cockroach brown or something, which actually was the case in our Boston house. And Sarah's an interior designer, and she was talking about, oh, this has to go, we'll do a different tile. Yeah. And he went, how about diamond? And she was like, diamond in the bathroom? And then he got down on one knee, which is like the lamest fucking thing you can do. And I sat down, I typed it, and then I was like, Mark, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. That's crazy.
It was so weird.
It
was so weird. So then I finally corralled him into doing something a little sweeter. But characters really, really do what they want.
And it's so fucked up because, and this is Carl Jung, the psychologist, he basically came up with this concept called the shadow. I don't know if you heard about it or not.
I don't think so.
So the shadow is basically, no matter how good, everyone watching, like no matter how good of a person you are, there's a part deep in your subconscious mind that is like the Joker or is like a serial killer.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's just super, super suppressed and rarely comes out. And he says the people that suppress it and don't acknowledge that it's there will it will never like end up biting them in the ass pretty much.
Yeah.
So basically, it's really fucked up to write a character like I've written, because I've already written like I already have like several scenes played out, like punchlines. I already have like the costume. I already know exactly how I would play it and how I would dress and how I would carry myself. But it's fucked up to know that that's like a part of me.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess it's better to channel it into something creative than to just kind of sit here and pretend that it doesn't exist. But that's why the human mind fascinates me. That's my obsession. I love how the human mind works, and my goal is to completely master my own mind. And I think to do that, you need to explore some areas that aren't so pleasant and aren't so happy all the time, but they really do live inside you. Like, and I think that's the key to nailing a character, is to find it in like inside of you, to find that no matter what it is that you're playing, because I think that we all have like such deep personalities. Like there's surface level shit that everyone sees, but like deep down we all have different like stuff going on, because like your conscious mind is only 5% of your mind. The 95 is subconscious. I mean, like, it's the same as the ocean. Only 5% of the ocean is explored. 95%, like, it's the exact same numbers. But it's pretty scary, actually. I mean, it's cool, but it's scary. I mean, like, you just have to find a way to balance it, I guess. But yeah, that's why I love telling stories. I love writing characters. I think that like every like movie that I love, they all have the characters are probably the most developed part, where like you have
absolutely.
Well, I mean, my favorite movies, you have which is so fucked up because like, and I think one of the reasons I'm so into characters like John Doe from Seven or the Joker is because that's so opposite of the way I actually see the world. That it's a really interesting exercise to put myself in someone else's shoes. Because I hear everyone like, bitching and moaning all the time about everything that's going on in the world, but I think this is a fabulous world to be a part of, and like it's almost to try to understand other people. I purposely put myself in someone else's shoes, to where they see the world as an awful place, and I have some right to think that, but I just choose not to. I mean, like, shit's happened, and I could be bitching and moaning about it, but I just choose to focus on the good stuff. But so I think that's also part of it. Not only is it a part of me, but I also consciously make an effort to try to understand different people's perspective. And I think when you do that, it's really hard to feel prejudice and like hate when you put yourself in that. Because I've done a few exercises where I actually like walk around. It's creepy as fuck, but I've sent over dialogue of the Joker to people. I've like, because I want to practice.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. And I've practiced the character, and I've sent over audio files to people that would be like that are interested in like knowing how I do with it. But it's like once you do something like that, it's hard for me to feel hate and like bitterness towards other people, because I'm pretty much putting myself in the worst possible position.
Yeah.
So, but that's something I consciously do.
Ultimate, put yourself in someone else's shoes.
Exactly. And I mean, I think you can't get too deep with it, and I know you have experiences with that.
I made that mistake. Don't make that mistake.
So what we're talking about is you did method acting, right?
In a sense, it was partially method acting, and partially, ignoring the actual emotional effect it had on me. So my role was in The Winter's Tale to play the nurse, and basically you don't even have to know the play, but the son of this guy is the son of the king, the prince. He's about 6. His father has just accused his wife wrongfully of adultery and is putting her on trial and sentencing her to death, and my role is to tell the king his son has just died off stage.
Oof.
So we had this darling boy, Isaiah, from one of the elementary schools playing the son, Emilius. So I was also basically his babysitter for the play. So I had this close relationship with him, and he was so great. And I would sit backstage and pretend he was dying, or my brother was dying, someone was dying in my arms,
to
and
get
then
into
go on
character,
stage
and
tell this guy who playing Leontes, the father, who's my dear friend, who I actually might see in London, so that's great, that his son has just died.
Yeah.
And then that was it. And I walk off stage, and I say, okay, shake it off. And I've got homework to do. It's junior year in high school, so I have homework to do, I have all this shit. And it just got to me in a way that, like, completely destroyed me.
Damn.
Completely. And it's, that was dedication to my character, but it was also just taking it too far. You need to know when to stop, and you need to know how to use your support network. I had a great network, but I didn't use it, and I didn't think that that this was something that I needed them for, if that makes sense. Like, if you think you're being overdramatic, which I thought I was being, it's always better to be overdramatic and to think that you're making too much of a big deal out of things.
Sorry, that sounds all too familiar. Yeah.
So, word to the wise.
But that is pretty dangerous, and I think that, and I was asking, because that was something I was interested in, and one thing that I'm not interested in acting is, I think a lot of people do it as an escape. They try to escape themselves by becoming someone else, which is kind of the opposite of the way I want to do it. I'm completely fine. I'm like completely at peace with myself, but I want to explore and push myself to do things that I wouldn't normally do in like a regular job, and I think it's
fun.
Yeah, it's a hell of a lot of fun.
It's like playing when you're little.
But method it's dangerous. It can be really dangerous, and that's one thing that I thought that. Rest in peace, Heath Ledger. I'm just
I mean, it's like when you're playing sports, you have to warm up and you have to cool down.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, exactly. There was a point where we were doing this exercise where the whole cast was kind of milling and seething, which is when you walk around in character.
Yeah.
And our director was saying, calling out plot points and saying, all right, Leontes has just sentenced Hermione to death. And then Mamilius has just died. And I turned to the person next to me and I started sobbing. Real tears. And I thought I was fine, and obviously I was not. And she was literally like, "Are you okay? Is there anything I can do for you?" And I was like, "No, Amelia's died and whatever." And
shit, that's crazy.
Completely, I couldn't stop crying.
Well, I mean, yeah, it can be really dangerous. But like what I was saying about Heath, just to clarify, because I know everyone thinks he died because of the Joker. That's not his documentary was basically about that. Like it was it probably didn't help, but it was more about his lack of sleep and the fame was fucking him up. But so just to clear, because everyone's like, oh my god, the Joker role killed him.
7 straight.
Exactly. I mean, the documentary, that's what it was about. But it can be dangerous when you lose yourself in a character, then you don't. I mean, I've heard of like Anne Hathaway. I think she did one time where she like it took her a couple months to get back to normal. Yeah. I'm not terribly interested in that because I think that is more becoming someone else than actually act. Because I think the craft of acting is more about putting yourself in someone else's shoes and not to see yourself and not like feel weird.
It's kind of a mask, not face paint.
Yeah, that's a part.
Face paint instead of plastic.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, method acting can be pretty. I mean, I was interested in it for a while, but like as I was listening, and one thing my friend Max told me about is that it's a fucking nightmare to work with people that are method acting.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like if you're just in character all the time, you need someone to do something, but they're like. And if they're in character all the fucking time, then that's like really frustrating. I mean, like staying in voice, I understand. Like I know a lot of people that like if they put on a different accent,
but you can't like it's hard to interact with everyone around you when you're someone else.
Yeah, or like to truly interact with. Yeah. Boom, we're back. Anyway, method acting. Yeah, it's it can be really dangerous shit, but. That's not. I mean, I don't know if that didn't seem all that fun to me either. I think the fun part would be like going deep into a character like during like on set, like or like between action and cut, but like being Christian
and I think,
between.
Yeah, I think it's fun to, especially if your role is physical, to really do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I would hate to have stunt doubles unless it was something really dangerous.
You hate to have what?
Stunt doubles.
Yeah.
Unless it was something really dangerous because. I want to know how my character feels doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I forgot where I was going with that, but yeah.
Stunt doubles, physical character.
Yeah, so that kind of method acting, which isn't really method acting, but it's being more in character. Than
that's crazy. That I mean, and that was that wasn't like a blockbuster film.
I had like 3 lines.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was fucked up. I mean, that was my mistake.
Well, I mean, when you don't know.
Yeah,
it's always when you know it's
I didn't need to dedicate myself that much to 3 lines.
I mean, yeah, but.
And I also, this is gonna kill you. I asked my director every night, like, how was that? Was that good? And she, every night except for closing night, she said it needed work.
Ooh. Well, is this a high school play?
A lot of beef with her, but yeah.
Shit. That's nuts.
So.
You didn't go to.
I went to a regular old public school. It was a good school, but yeah. No, we all have a lot of beef with her. I won't name her.
Were you the most serious one about it though?
No, not necessarily.
Oh shit.
I mean, in this sense, in how much I devoted myself to my character.
Yeah.
But there were a ton of really hardworking people.
Okay.
In that cast.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. So I wasn't the most hardworking.
Yeah.
Or not necessarily.
So now would you rather be behind the screen than actually, or writing a book than actually acting at this point?
I don't know.
Yeah. Because you probably learned your lesson with the whole method acting thing. That's probably no mas for that, right?
Yeah, but I went on, I still did theater after that.
Okay.
You know, I did a year of improv after that.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
I did, was I doing Betco before? I don't know. I was still in theater. Betco was a theater troupe.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I was still in theater troupes. I was still doing acting. I directed a web series that we made, a horror web series.
Oh, that's dope.
So we did a lot of stuff. So that didn't, ruin acting for me.
Yeah.
By any means, even in the moment. It just ruined myself.
Yeah. Which is a little bit more important than that. I feel you. Well, I mean, yeah, that can. I mean, just stuff like that can spiral you out of control. That's why I'm really careful with the stuff I think about and the stuff I watch, and it's just I'm also on a mental diet more than I know a lot of people that are on actual meal diets, but I don't watch that's because having I don't have depression anymore. I overcame it. Let's go, champ. But before, you would watch something on the news and it would become your son that was raped or your daughter.
My mom wakes up to the news and she says it's been getting her really depressed.
Oh my, it's her alarm. Well, I mean, it's the one thing that they wake up and they say good evening and then proceed to tell you why it's not a good evening. I mean, it's it's so toxic. Like that's I just don't watch it. And like a lot of people tell me you need to be updated. Well, I don't need to be like inundated either. I don't need to be like, because I get like, I'm one of those people that I get like emotionally involved and shit like that if I like dive too deep into it. Even the other day I was on Facebook watching some news article and I was like, what the hell am I doing? Like this isn't helping me at all. And I think that like if I like am watching something about other people, I can feel empathy towards it, but if I'm not doing my job and not feeling happy, that's not really doing myself a service either. So it's like I kind of refuse to watch the news. It's so and especially everything that goes on with the political scene in the U.S. now. We don't need to get into that, but it's just like I just don't really see any I've never seen a benefit to it.
I have interest in the news in a historical and I guess in a storytelling way. Yeah. So like Watergate, All the President's Men. I love that. I love the mystery of that and like figuring that out. I hate doing it. I hate journalism. Being a journalist. I'm not huge into mysteries, so it's kind of a conundrum, I guess. But I follow the Comey trial closely. Because I was just interested in how it played out. But I think that's the storytelling more than the actual news.
Than the actual news. That was a weird one.
That was weird. I have a pin that says Lordy, I hope there are tapes. Is that it? Lordy, I hope
Lordy,
there are tapes.
What a fucking bizarre time. Actually...
He's also like 7 feet tall, which makes it even funnier.
You know what's so weird is like, I'm almost... because I feel like we're going to be talking about this era of politics for a long time. It's weird to be it's weird to be like, because there's never been anything like this. Yeah. And we're like a part, not really a part of it, but like we're witnessing it, which is like a good and bad thing, because I cannot believe Trump disrespected Sir Elton John by calling Kim Jong-un Rocket Man. How could you do Sir Elton like that?
I didn't think of it in that way.
That's the only thing I could think of.
That's so funny.
See, the one thing I don't know anything about politics. Like, I know jack shit about politics. I really do. I think this is tilted. Hello.
It loves me.
Yeah. But the one thing I know a lot about psychology, and Trump is just like.
Okay. There've been so many people who have mental professionals who've dubbed him unfit for office.
Oh, he is, and I think that and I don't really hate Trump. I don't really have one thing I want to get your take on this. I don't know why people give so much attention to shit that they don't want.
In terms of what?
Like everything. So everyone everyone's always saying like, oh, I cannot believe Trump won. Well, you talked about him more than anyone. Like the amount of like.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Right.
Yeah.
So like.
Any attention is good attention.
Exactly, and I think when you give your energy and you're putting all your energy towards a problem, that's why like I'm completely in support of all these things I'm about to name, but I will never attend an anti-racism rally. I'll never attend a like an anti-war rally. Like if it's a peace rally, I'll go, because that's like productive. That's not putting all your attention onto racism and war.
So some people would argue that an anti-war rally and a peace rally are the same thing. But you're saying that if you want the focus to be on something productive,
exactly,
and not on the negative thing.
Because but in an anti-war rally, they're talking about all the like why we shouldn't be at war.
Yeah. Where but as peace rally, you're talking about why we should be at peace.
Yeah, or just you're just showing up and having and just practicing what you preach in terms of like the peace thing. But like and I find obviously that goes without saying, I don't need to say, but I find racism, like all that stuff appalling. But I think to give that all the attention is a little naive as well. Because
I think there's a balance that needs to be had, because you do have to give that attention to make it change.
But
in the same way, like if, for example, the Paris attacks, when they happened, I wasn't here, but that doesn't matter. Yeah. I continued to live my life. Yeah. So many people from AUP left, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but for me, I felt like I wasn't in physical danger. Yeah. It didn't feel like I was in danger. Yeah. I didn't feel threatened by anyone. So I said, well, if I let them change my life, then they won.
Yeah, exactly.
If I bend, then they won. Yeah. So I think there's a balance in terms of that's an instance where you can say, let's focus on the good and just ignore the bad.
And I do understand for people watching, and maybe they're like, oh, it's easy for you to say, yeah, it is really. I mean, it is. I understand the hypocrisy of what I'm saying as a white man. Yeah. Like I really do understand it. So I don't really I really don't have the right to be upset, but I do think there's something to be said for giving all your fucking attention to a problem. And I just think it's something that people need to take into consideration, because that's why Trump won, because he was talked about, and like even Hillary Clinton, her slogan had Trump's name in it. Like, it was all about him. That's why he won, because like people that don't know anything, including myself, they don't know anything about politics. Like, you see him being the most talked about, so it must be that he's doing either something right or something awful. But either way, he's getting airtime. But yeah, that's something and that's something I used to do. Like, you give play out these mental thoughts about shit that you don't want. I don't really do that anymore. I just think about shit that I do want, and I think that's why it comes more than shit that I don't want now. Because like, when you put all your energy towards shit that you don't want, it has to show up almost. Like, I find.
There's a song from Legally Blonde now called "Positive" that's stuck in my head.
What? How's it go?
Keep it positive. Da 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 da.
I've never. I haven't seen that. Was that Reese Witherspoon?
Yeah, but it's a musical.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that movie, and so
it's a great movie. It's a fantastic musical, actually. As a side note.
Legally Blonde?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Shout out to the Winch in my old school. That was okay. I was like, wow, that sounds so familiar. They did that for the senior play. Yeah. Max McKinsey, shout out. That was his first ever acting role, and he murdered it. He played the UPS guy.
Oh yes.
And he crushed it. It was awesome. But that like started his acting career.
Package.
Yeah, exactly. But that was a fun. I forgot. Oh my god, I forgot about that. That was a fun one. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of the way I see it. I don't really give attention to shit that I don't. That being said, I'm also not, being.
You're not in a war zone, and you're not.
Yeah, exactly.
Being affected.
And I'm not being directly affected by the color of my skin, which is, a blessing. But I just think it's something to take into consideration, that people should just focus a lot less on like the shit that they don't want, rather than focusing on positive.
I mean, that's exactly what you saw in the election.
Yeah.
Because of a number of reasons, because of people giving money or because of whatever, Trump had more airtime.
Yeah.
And that affected the election.
$1 billion in free ads he got.
Yeah. So.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
And here we are saying we weren't going to talk about politics.
Yeah, I mean, but I think we're.
It's inevitable.
Actually, I think we're talking less about politics than actually like the psychology of politics and the psychology of how Trump won. But I just think like, I used to think that he was like alpha male is the wrong word, but I was like, oh, he's just gonna maul through everyone just with pure like charisma and like out muscle everyone. But he's so reactive, and that's like the number one thing I look for in someone. Like, for me, someone that's like confident is someone that like you could say something to them and they'd be like, okay. But he will go like, he screams at the TV. Have you heard about this stuff? Like he watches 5 hours of TV a day. How nuts is that?
That's not true, actually. They do.
Exactly. I mean, it's madness, but I don't really have any. Like I said, I don't like the shit that he does, but I don't give him any attention. Like, he doesn't take up any of my energy or thoughts throughout the day. I don't think he deserves that, right? Actually, which is almost worse than like writing a big Facebook like post about it. He's just so irrelevant to me, honestly. Yeah. Obviously, he's not, because he's the president, and he could press the button, but like. I'm not. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do to stop him doing what he's doing? So I just like, I try not to give him any attention, because I just don't think he deserves it, honestly. But not. I guess not.
He doesn't deserve your time, and where I feel like where you can give your time, you will. Your vote.
Yeah.
You'll do whatever so that you can.
Yeah.
But you're not going to sit on Twitter for hours and be like, fuck you.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, the time is the only luxury we have on this earth, because it's the only thing you can't get back. And I think to, like, take hours out of your day to sit and think about Donald Trump, I think is, like, really weird. Mm-hmm. That's just something I just don't subscribe to. Like, I don't see the point of it. He's just...
to be a journalist assigned.
Can you, that's one thing, honestly. I don't understand how they pull it off, where like all they talk about is other people. They just write about people's lives, and I would like.
I know, as a creative person, I can't like, I just don't know how to do that. How do you just let things stream through you? There's no you attached to journalism.
Well,
yeah, in reporting journalism, it's arguable that in opinions and whatever. You do that.
Of course.
But you're just like a funnel.
If they told me I could either light myself on fire or work for TMZ, I'd go fire. I'd have to. I genuinely, I could not do that. I don't know how they do.
You could take the loophole of like wearing a fire protective suit.
Yeah. We could work like that. But oh my god, that is my absolute nightmare. Just talking about other people Bradley Cooper and Arena. I don't know if they're together anymore. I don't see. That's one thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's one.
Don't look at me.
That's one thing I don't like. Celebrity gossip. Besides, like maybe a couple people.
I follow Supernatural.
What's that?
It's a TV show.
Oh yeah. Okay. I thought I was thinking magazine or something like that.
No, I follow Supernatural. The stars' lives, but it's all like, oh my gosh, they're having a baby! Yay!
Yeah.
No drama. Zero. Absolutely none. And they're like a huge family, and it's like really good news.
Yeah.
Instead of like, Kylie Jenner's pregnant with a baby, which is something I saw about it.
Who got her pregnant?
I don't know.
That is a nightmare. But if you could put everything I dislike about mainstream society in one family.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, like, I cannot think of one thing. Actually,
the color palette isn't bad.
But like Kylie is like they shave down her jawline.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing about that girl that's
wait,
real.
we're giving attention to things that we don't like.
Very good. Look at you go.
We got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Switch up what we're doing. I feel like I'm drinking tea when I drink this.
Yeah, you're drinking it. You're like hunched over and like drinking it really slow.
This is my like comfort pose, I guess. Like having a warm cup of tea.
Warm beer. Nothing better than warm amber beer. I'm trying to decorate this place with more. I was gonna get owl eyes up there. It sucks for people. Actually, I probably shouldn't talk about that. People can't see, but I actually want to work with exotic animals. I think that'd be so dope too. At one point, like the Bengal tiger is like easily my favorite animal.
Same.
How dope are they?
I fucking love tigers.
It's they're stunning.
They're great. Yeah, I've been staring at. There's a poster of a tiger. Beautiful poster of a tiger. I've been staring at this whole time.
This was a fantastic purchase, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know where to put it though, so I kind of have it.
Oh my god! There's a really big spider in the back of it.
Is it really? Oh shit! It's huge. That's not that big.
No, it's just a daddy long legs.
Well, there you go.
I saw this really freaky bug today.
Okay, are you scared? I'm not scared of anything. I really am. I was.
The only bug that I'm actually scared of is spiders. Except for daddy long legs.
No, see, I was having a conversation with this with someone a couple of days ago. I'm not. I'm really. I struggle to find shit that I'm actually like scared. Like my biggest fear. This sounds really cheesy, but like not living up to my potential like scares the shit out of me. Like that really freaks me out. But like, I'm not scared of.
Is that your standards for yourself, or what other people think is your potential, or what you want to do?
I just like kind of going around, probably myself mostly, because I mean I have different things that I want than other people, like
so yourself as in things that you want to achieve or do for yourself to make yourself
I don't ever want to work to acquire. I want to work to become. So like the person like not becoming the person that I know I can become, that freaks me out.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of like what kind of car I drive, and the cars are a bad example because cars are a passion of mine. So like I don't really care about being flown around in a private jet or anything like that. That's not that to me, that doesn't signify much. But like when I look at who I could be in the next few years, and like the way I'm developing, like that freaks me out not to live up to that, because I think that like so much of our abilities go untapped, and that's what freaks me out more than anything. But like back to what we were saying, like I've scuba, like, you know, done scuba diving with sharks and eels and like a whole bunch of crazy shit like that, but like I haven't really encountered any, like snakes don't really freak me out. That being said, you wrap a boa constrictor around me and I'd probably have something different to say about it, but like
there's something between scared and like actually physically
and if there was a huge if there was a huge trench in the wall, I probably would be like, oh sick, look at that. I'd be a little bit like, but like
I'm braver when other people are around.
That's interesting. I find that I find the same thing too. For me, it's when I'm around other people, especially when I want out, it's easy for me to do stupid, like, it's not stupid stuff, but like kind of push my comfort zone when people are watching. Not because of the way it makes me seem to people, but just because to hear someone else say, my friends, all my friends know, like, I always say I won't go, you know, talk to that girl, or say I won't go do this or that, and then they always like, you won't, and I have to do it at that point. But like, when people are watching, I find that I do a lot better, even if it's like a presentation. Like, if I did do a presentation in front of just the teacher versus the whole class, I wouldn't do as well if, like, in front of just the teacher.
I think I feel more comfortable public speaking when it's either like one-on-one. Like, I operate best in terms of friendships and in terms of hanging out with people in small groups. And then public speaking, like I could do a TED Talk.
Yeah, there's no gray area for you. There's no like.
Well, I mean, I can't. I'm a fairly good public speaker, not to my own heart.
Yeah.
But I can do everything. But there's a certain amount of confidence that you have to give yourself when you're up in a room full of 1,000 people. You cannot break down.
Well, the thing is, I spoke at my graduation in high school, and I was more nervous. Like, the thing when I actually got to AP, so I did the public speaking class here, which I loved. It was awesome. But I got more jitters talking to people when I was out than when I was public speaking, which is weird because a lot of people, public speaking is their biggest fear, but they could go talk to anyone. For me, it was the opposite. For me, I could get up in a room in front of,
I feel like when you're talking to people in like strangers in public and you're having a conversation, you have to be yourself to some extent because that could develop into a friendship. Or you can see them again, and it's really awkward if you were pretending to be someone else.
Exactly, or you had beer muscles or whatever else was going on. But yeah.
But if you're in public speaking, to a certain extent, you're expected to have a persona, and you're expected to be the businessman or the whatever.
I love public speaking.
Me too.
I really do.
It's
I really do love
fun.
it. Well, there's
builds your confidence so much.
There's something that switches on for me whenever I get in front of a crowd. I really don't know what it is, but I'm kind of, because I really have no choice. I mean, there's so many people watching. Or when you have to
schmooze with adults.
Yeah.
I call it turning the charm on.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm able to do that, but I'm more comfortable doing that than one thing I don't. I think I differ from a lot of people, especially guys. So guys, when you're going out and meeting girls, for example, a lot of guys find it easier when they don't know the people. Me, it's the opposite. It's really easy for me to be myself around people that not that I know, but that I like kind of in the social circle, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But when it's people I don't know, it's hard for me to put my, not really anymore, but it used to be hard for me to put my personality on display almost, because I'd be kind of trying to cater to too many people to now where I'm just kind of this is me, either hate it or love it, and then just I'm
that way, but a step behind.
Whatever. It doesn't really matter, but that's one thing. That's why I love. But what's funny though is I sucked at public speaking when I first started. I really did. I remember I made oh shit. No.
Did it just die?
Damn it. Oh fuck me.
It sucks.